So the first one that we'll explore a little bit is the doorway effect. The doorway effect is a real cognitive phenomenon where walking through a doorway makes you more likely to forget what you were just thinking about, even if it happened just seconds before.
Mm-hmm.
That is essentially what the doorway effect is. And in again layperson's terms, it's you walk into a room, you completely forget why you were there for, then you walk out offended at the room somehow,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why does it happen though? So your brain organizes experiences into discrete events called event models. And all of this is not me making shit up. This is actual scientists did this research. I'm
We
just
don't
letting you
doubt
know
you,
what they
Sandy.
did.
Yeah, yeah. We are not doubting you. We don't think you just cook up things and come and
Yeah, yeah.
tell us in
I mean,
this
you guys are
episode.
free to Google all of this in your own time. So
No,
anyway,
if that was the point, then what's the point of the podcast? No, we believe you,
yeah, yeah,
Sandy. Go
fair,
ahead.
fair. So yeah, your brain organizes different experiences into discrete events called event models. A doorway acts like a mental divider, meaning that it signals the end of one event and the start of another.
Mm-hmm.
So when you pass through the doorway,
Oh,
your mind again quote unquote updates the ongoing event and drops or in some words purges some of the old information to make room for new stuff, right? So the thing you were just thinking of before entering the room is disposed of by your brain as it is considered old information. The actual doorway acts as a barrier or as a next step.
Hmm.
So as soon as you enter the new room, it's like in video game terms, it's a new level. A
Hmm.
new quest has started.
ah,
So what did the actual research find? So this research was conducted in the University of Notre Dame. So in some experiments, and this as a part of that experiment, researchers actually, while also doing this is a physical phenomenon, like, right? This happens in actual real life.
Mm-hmm.
So
mm,
what researchers also tried to do was try to make it a virtual environment of sorts. So they had several participants, almost like plug them into a game of some kind, wherein they had again using the term quests or different tasks to be done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So during the research conducted by the University of Notre Dame, in experiments, and these are including virtual environments, people remembered objects or tasks worse after walking through a door
Hmm.
compared to walking the same distance without crossing a doorway. So it's
oh,
not just about
wow.
context change, right? It's not just about context change. Researchers found that even walking back into the original room didn't improve recall,
Hmm.
suggesting the doorway itself triggers the memory segmentation. So, just again, in very, very, very easy to understand words, even during a quest. So, as soon as the people left the virtual room, more often than not, they used to forget what was happening in the previous room,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's where the doorway effect sort of the term was coined, and they found out more. Obviously, this is again something that happens to us physically every day. According to broader research on event boundaries, this effect isn't limited to physical or even virtual doorways. Any task or context switch, for example, like finishing
Mm.
one activity and starting another,
Mm-hmm.
can trigger similar memory shifts, right? So essentially, in case you want to dive a little bit deeper, just slightly little bit deeper into what the research actually entailed.
Mm-hmm.
So these people, the researchers, they seated participants in front of a computer screen running a video game in which they could move around using the arrow keys, right? In the game, they would walk up to a table with a colored geometric solid sitting on it. Their task was to pick up the object and take it to another table where they would put the object down and pick up a new one.
Hmm.
Whichever object they were currently carrying was invisible to them as if it were in a virtual backpack. Are you guys with me so far?
Not really. I did not get that. Sorry. Can you repeat it?
Oh.
So basically, there was a virtual geometric object in one room. They had
Mm-hmm.
to pick up that object, take it to the take it to a table in the other room, virtual room,
Ah, okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? Sometimes to get to the next object, the participants simply walked across the room. Sometimes the other table was also in the same room.
Mm-hmm.
Other times they had to walk the same distance but through a doorway into a new room,
Mm-hmm. Ah, okay. Okay.
right? From time to time, the researchers gave them a pop quiz asking them which object was currently in their backpack.
Hmm.
The quiz was timed so that when they walked through a doorway, they were tested right afterwards. And walking through the doorways more often than not caused them to forget what they were carrying in their backpack, even though they had just picked up the object in the previous room.
Hmm.
That's wild.
Hmm.
You
That's
know?
really
So
fascinating. Yeah.
it's extremely fascinating. And that's how they sort of realize that the doorway effect doesn't only apply to real life, it happens in virtual environments as well.
Hmm.
So essentially, what your brain is doing is okay, I've entered a new room, I need to make space for new stuff here. Immediately control alt delete on the previous one,
Hmm.
That
right?
is also
That
probably why all of us suck at multitasking, just in general.
possible
Multi
Yeah,
because you
yeah,
picked up a
people.
new activity without completing the old activity, right?
and anyway,
Yeah,
multitasking is not true. Like no one can do multitasking.
yeah, yeah.
As soon as you pick up another
Yeah,
task, I mean, it's a new task. Wait a second, huh?
It's a new task. Yeah. Now, there are people who shuffle between tasks and
yeah.
a lot, like a lot. And they're quite annoying to work with, to be very honest.
Talking about multitasking now that we're on the topic, I think one of the biggest misconceptions about multitasking is that people think they can, at least the people who think that they are multitasking, they think that they're focusing on more than one thing at a same point of time.
Yeah.
Whereas it is scientifically impossible, except for a few extremely gifted individuals, for a person to focus on more than one thing at the same point of time.
Yeah.
If you're able to do that, that is when you're multitasking.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is the very basic definition of multitasking is that you're focusing on more than one thing at the same point of time. If you are able to do that, then you are a truly gifted individual and you are like a handful of people in the
Genius.
entire world.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you're a full
so
blown genius.
Yeah.
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 Otherwise, common people like us, your brain is not wired to focus on more than one thing at any point of time.
Yeah.
That is the definition of multitasking. If you're just
That's
doing
why when
five things
I,
at once and not focusing on any one given thing, then you're not multitasking. You're just doing one thing after the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
or you're doing all five really badly. Like when I
Yeah, yeah,
play,
yeah, yeah.
I play my shitty games and I watch something, I can watch a show like 15 times because I've forgotten so much of it because I've been playing a shitty game while watching it and, you know, my
What's
brain
that
doesn't
shitty game?
recognize it. Oh, there are many shitty games. There are three essentially shitty games that I play. One where you have to construct rooms. A sort of an extension of Candy Crush. The guy
That's why you
has
keep forgetting. That's your doorway effect on a daily basis every 5 minutes.
that is true.
Yeah.
Then I also play Phase 10 online, like online as in on like, but with AI only, with
Yeah.
robots only, not with real people.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, go ahead, Sandy. I'm just giving Prakhar a list of the shitty games I play. Basically, games that require zero cognitive ability. You can just do whatever the fuck you want with while
True. True.
playing those
True.
games.
So, what does the doorway effect suggest about the human brain? Just very briefly, it is that the brain prioritizes efficiency over everything else. It
Mm-hmm.
only keeps, again, quotes, current information at the ready and discards what it deems to be irrelevant. So the irrelevant can be as old as just 2 seconds ago. But
Mm-hmm.
as soon as you enter the doorway, it is deemed irrelevant and it's immediately again purged from your brain. Or it's shifted somewhere else where you can't readily access it. Right?
So this happens with everyone or only select individuals? Like,
No, no,
is there
no. This
like
is very universal phenomenon. Doorway
Universal.
effect, very
okay,
universal,
okay,
right? So this memory strategy works well most of the time, but it feels deeply imperfect when you just can't remember why you came into the kitchen, for example, right? You want
mm-hmm.
to, maybe you are just feeling peckish. You entered the kitchen and you immediately forget. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not really ideal, right? So this is where the efficiency of the brain sometimes backfires
Hmm.
because it's very
But
imperfect.
it usually comes back if you go back into the other, like where you came from. If you go back, it comes back. Then you have to hold it in your brain, and then you have to go back to
Yeah,
that
yeah, but
other
that
room.
also doesn't happen very often. That also only
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. So
Really?
it's a
Huh.
Yeah, it's trial and error essentially. So there is no research to prove that if you go back to the room, then you'll immediately recall what you were there for. Talking about the doorway effect, the Indian PM's residence has 5 bungalows. Imagine how many rooms it has. No wonder like national issues are being forgotten left, right, and center.
Yes, that is
So
the reason.
maybe we can excuse, maybe we can
Sure, sure.
excuse that transgression.
That is the reason. That is
I'm
absolutely
justifying,
the reason.
I'm providing every possible excuse here.
Happens with everybody.
Yeah. The poor guy is forgetting national matters every time he enters
Yeah.
a new room.
Not that
That's
he has
five
an
fucking bungalows,
army.
dude.
Yeah, not that he has an army of people to do his bidding. But yes, that is the reason. Not that he's an incompetent little fuck, but
I had to search how many rooms his residence had just for this joke. So, maybe
okay.
you'll
No,
appreciate
I
my
appreciate the joke, yes.